Hi everybody and welcome. Yes, this is Race Across Asia Take Woo, and today we are discussing, well, you watched it last night, the final of Race Across the World. So very special episode for you today. Super exciting. So before we dive in, 14,000 kilometers over 7 weeks through 7 countries, and it all came down to 12 minutes as we saw the start of the episode. That's all that separated the first 2 teams as they embarked on the final leg of this Race Across the World season. Now the 4 teams could only reach Lombok from the neighbouring island of Bali, and that's where we started. So I'm joined for this very special edition by the superstars themselves. We have the Wendy Woo VIP superstars, Christine and Charles. Good to see you both.
Good to see you.
And we are also joined by Wendy Woo, founder of Wendy Woo Tours. Hi Wendy.
Hi everyone, I am nothing. We have the real star here.
We have indeed, yes, we have Eamon Chowdhury, winner of season 2 of Race Across the World.
Yay.
Great to see you,
Nice to
Eamon.
be here.
Brilliant. So, what an episode we saw last night. Thrills and spills.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
amazing.
And it all started, as every episode has, with the route choices. You know, how important were the route choices? They could do the major cities of the north, or they could do the tourist route of the south, which only one couple did, Stephen and Viv. What do you think about their route choices? Did they pick wisely?
I think for the penultimate leg, the final leg, the fastest way is through the towns rather than going towards the southern route. So 3 of the teams, I think they picked the right route. And yeah, Stephen and Viv, they were just unlucky, I guess.
Yeah.
So unlucky, not unlucky, because they got to see some amazing things down the south, and that's a choice that you got to make. Either you travel fast or you travel to experience, and I think that was a clear example of it, because the other 3 teams, they just travel fast around the top, and whereas Stephen and Viv travel nice and slow and experience more at the southern.
It's been a common trait with Stephen,
Yeah,
hasn't it?
although there was more transport along the top, a lot of the transport was full, wasn't it, when they wanted to be on it, and so they were waiting for the next bus, the next train.
Very true.
Yeah,
Yeah. Obviously, you know, it's been an amazing series, and we've learned so much about the characters as the series has gone on. But I've got to say, dirty tactics at play again last night. Eugenie and Isabel lying about their budgets.
But it came back to bite them, didn't it? It didn't work.
Absolutely.
And I always hope that people do that to you.
Yeah.
You know, you'll find out.
Yeah. No, it all comes back to you in the
Yeah.
end. What did you think, guys, about their tactics, dirty tactics at play?
Well, yeah, I suppose, but that's the sort of thing you would do. I mean, they did well, they just were behind all the time, and yet every time Alfie and Owen had to wait for transport, then they caught them up. I mean, it was classic, wasn't it, watching Isabel and Eugene walk round the painted village and just
that was
coming across the
amazing.
boys painting the
Yeah.
houses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the reaction of Alfie was just...
Aghast
I
in
loved
horror.
it. I just burst into laughter.
I mean, that was a nice touch, and we've seen that in the series. You know, there's times where you've actually, you know, the contestants have explored,
Yeah.
like we saw in the painted village last night.
Yeah.
How important? I mean, Eamon, you know, you're travelling, you're racing. How important is it to actually stop and see, you know, where you're travelling through?
I think once you've gone through a certain destination and you look back at the route that you've taken and you think, oh, in hindsight, I should have done this, I should have done that. And that's when you come to reflect the amount of countries you've gone through and the stuff that you missed, and some key places that you missed. And you'll always kick yourself thinking, oh, I was there, I was literally around the corner, I just could have just, you know, checked it out. So yeah, you know, some of the incredible places the guys went through, and I know they'll kick themselves now when they look back and look at the different routes that they could have taken and the stuff that they could have experienced. But I guess it's something in later life you can go on and explore yourself in your own time rather than on a race.
Yeah. And I heard Eamon as well. I think you mentioned once before, Costa Rica was a
Yeah.
perfect example for you with that.
Yeah, it was my biggest regret on Race Across the World was Costa Rica. So we travelled the whole way through Costa Rica. We stopped on a bus. We were on a bus throughout the whole way through, and we stopped for about 10-15 minutes for a break, for the bus driver to have a break. And that's when I stepped foot on Costa Rica for 10-15 minutes, and then I got back onto it and we just went straight through it. And I remember at that checkpoint, and then I looked back at it and I thought, Costa Rica was always on my bucket list, and I can't believe I just spent 10 minutes there. Do you know what I mean? Costa Rica is an amazing place, some amazing stuff that we passed, but I just couldn't experience it.
Yeah, you'll have to go back.
That'll be
Yeah.
on a bucket list for later on.
Yeah, it's still on my bucket list, so yeah, definitely will be going back.
And it's so wonderful that like you guys, when you travel, you would be able to not only stop at all the highlights, but
Yes.
you know all the highlights
And
you
the
are going to be
guides
able
are
to
just
see.
phenomenal. You know,
Yeah.
they're like walking Googles. You know, they're just amazing people, the guides.
Mm.
They never let us down.
Oh,
Very good.
thank you. We'll start to talk about winning tours now. Sorry about that. Yes.
It's Race Across Asia.
Yeah, but you see this thing which we have it here on the camera. They are all the kind of wonderful things in this destination in this what's called Indonesia. Yeah, we go for and what's next?
Betty and James. Now, Betty and James, obviously the people's choice. It's been tough for them.
Yeah,
They've had a really rough race, haven't
Yeah.
they? Losing passports, tyres bursting as they've travelled around. And we saw them last night starting with only 3% of their budget left. But they did find work on the salt farm. That was heavy grafted work.
It was.
It was.
Yeah.
They booked an extra 2 hours work at the end, I think, because they were running short, weren't they? Because they got charged for accommodation they didn't think they were going to be
Yes.
charged for.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very true.
And again, we saw some touching moments. They talked about how the race has been difficult for them, but it's actually brought them together, and they've
Definitely.
developed a can-do
Yeah.
attitude.
Yeah, definitely. I think they've really worn their hearts on their sleeves, and that really came over, didn't it? And I love that. I like that aspect.
And do you think, guys, I mean, obviously you've all travelled extensively, do you think that spirit of travelling really does help you to develop that can-do attitude?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Especially as I travel on my own. So I have to link up with these people I'm travelling with, and it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really enjoy it.
Shared experiences
Yeah,
and different people's views of experiences as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you find, Eamon, as well, having done the race, did your kind of attitude change as you travelled?
It did. I think like on the first couple of weeks we struggled. When I was with my nephew, it's one of them things when you take your phone off you, you're not looking down. You have to actually look around and actually start talking to people. And for me, it was talking to my nephew, and we're talking 24, 36-hour bus rides, so we're talking long distances. And you get to talk to not just your companion that you're travelling with, but other people, and you make friends, and you start learning about the culture and the identity. And for me, because we didn't have a phone, we didn't know what was the best route. So it was constantly asking people what is the best route. And when we go to a certain country, there's no better person that knows their country than the people themselves. Google will tell you the best way to get from A to B, but you're passing C, D, E, F, and all these other destinations that are getting to A to B, and the locals will tell you, you're missing this, you're missing that, and stuff like that you don't realise. So it opens you up. It makes you absorb more about of your surroundings and where you are.
Mm-hmm. And I know Charles and Christine, that's a very good point Emma's made about seeing the best places. Google can only do so much, and I'm sure you've found that in your touring experiences as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's just been incredible having that itinerary worked out. There's no time wasted. And you can make the maximum use of the time you've got there and see as much as you can. I mean, I really feel for you having gone through Costa Rica in 10 minutes because I would want to see more of it, definitely. Yeah.
And sorry, Charles,
No, I mean, you obviously look at an itinerary for a tour, and you look at things, and often there's things that you would never find yourselves.
Absolutely.
You would go to the main sites, but you would never find the local things yourselves.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you. So I would say these are two different type of travel style. One is race across the world, and you on a budget race and miss many things. And then you also have kind of with windy tours, everything is included, and itinerary is the best. And so you don't miss any experience except the highlights, so which is good. But that you said something which I think that's maybe why you're winning, because I remember in your episode, your nephew was in admiration of you because you are one of these who did very well in the family. So he really had lots of respect for you, and you two always ask people, what like you just said, what's the best route? What's the best route? I think maybe that's why you win. Because if you don't keep on asking, you would not know. You don't have fun. You don't have a good go at that time.
Yeah.
So well done, well
I
done.
think with traveling in general, you know, like with organisations like yourself, when you tour, who know the area where you're going to, who know what the best places are to go to, is you sort of do the work for us. You know, we just immerse into the actual adventure and enjoy the moments itself. So
yes, and to be honest, why I actually do the designing tour, because originally all the Windy Tours product I actually designed, but of course not now. I have a fantastic team and they do a much better job. But when I was doing it, I did like among you did. I go everywhere, I talk with the locals, I said what else?
Yeah.
And this is beautiful. And I remember there are some places that locals told me is the absolute best place, but the professional will tell me, oh, it's not worth it, it's not worth it. But the reality is it's absolutely worth it. So there's many highlights which we put in the tours, and not many other operators will do, because we know from the locals what are the best.
Guys, we've got to talk about Stephen and Viv. I know we're getting towards the end of the programme, but Stephen and Viv, you know, they took things slow, they were living the life. In fact, I think there was a touching comment that they didn't want to grow old, they felt they had more adventures
they were
inside
an
of them.
inspiration, they really were, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would be like them. If I had somebody to travel with, I'd be another Stephen and Viv.
Yes, we want you to be them. We want you to be them. And how about Charles?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's my idea of holidays, is not whizzing from one place to the next without seeing things.
Yeah.
You need to get involved in the culture and
Yeah.
what have you. I mean, my big question for Stephen and Viv, well, Stephen, is why didn't you spend the money on the taxi? You know.
Burning question, isn't it? Yeah, they were so close. Yeah, no, absolutely. And you know, we've seen some amazing sites in this series. It really has been the best series. Has it inspired you to visit any more destinations,
Oh,
guys?
definitely. Yeah, there's loads more out there I want to see.
Yeah, you have already been with
I
us
have.
so many times to so many places.
I'm running
And
out of options with you.
oh,
Can you do some more, please?
we will, and it's an absolute delight and absolutely wonderful to serve like customers like you who really enjoy the culture, enjoy the history, and enjoy the immersive experience with locals and everything. So
Definitely.
your words.
You can't get that from reading a book or watching something on television. Actually being there, it gets imprinted on your mind, and it's wonderful.
Yes. And sorry, Andy, because of what Charles said, you said, why didn't they spend their money?
Yeah.
Okay, I really thought about that. I think that you can find all these young people, right? The young Effie and also James. These two young couples. Shall we say, maybe because of they are brave and they just go for it and they rush through, they totally don't know how to budget, so they all end up like in such a tight touch of just not even run out of money. Luckily they made it. Whereas you can see people with a little bit older and with age and life experience.
Think about it more.
I think that's why, Steve, they actually planning, because they always prepare for the worst, just in case. And plus their habit and the training profile, because they always say, we are proud we actually was able to budget. So I think all of that, they just, in case they need it, in case. But then this habit, then later on, when they don't need it anymore, they still have that habit. I think that's why they didn't use it. But I do think their experience in the whole show are the best experiences.
Yeah.
Because look at the young boys, all they did was go to a big pub and sing and dance for a night. Whereas look at Steve and this couple, they keep on go to the spa and they go to nice place and even go on the tourist routes. So I think their head was clear, even though they may want to win, but they felt this is one adventure. They don't want to change it for anything. So I think good on them. Good on them.
Well, they got to ride the disco bus, which we saw last night, which looked fun, gotta say. Alfie and Owen, obviously consistent throughout the series. Did the right pair win?
I believe so, yes. I think from day one, to be honest, my money was on Stephen Viv from day one.
I'm with you.
I actually thought they would
Yeah.
go all the way and win it, but yeah, you know, there's some touching stories, and
Yeah.
you know, they won it for the right reasons, and it was just an amazing adventure, wasn't it, from start to finish? And not just the race itself, but the whole story. Even though like all the couples had all different backstories, and I think us as viewers got really connected to all the couples. So yeah, in terms of like casting for the race across the world, I think they did a cracking job on it. Really did.
How about Tess?
Yeah, I mean, I think, Alfie and Owen had a smile. Was it the last series or this one? The last episode, when they were on bus going the wrong way, which sort of that was the communication locally, isn't it?
That's
You know, have we got the right bus? Well, obviously not, but they soon got off and got going back to the
How about you?
I think they would have learned so much about themselves and grown so much because they were quite immature to start with, but they grew up, didn't they, during that time they were away.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
wonderful.
I also felt it's the right people, right team
Yeah.
won. Because like at the one stage Effie said very clear, he said it's not about money.
No,
I want to win. It's the winning
I
itself.
agree.
And then all the way through, I think they are young and they are brave and they are determined and they are also honest. And there's and Effie especially always so connected with his mother. I think the whole trip almost healed him and from losing the mother so early, all the way through. He's talking about that, and I think all of that is just harmoniously is helping him towards that winning. Yeah.
An amazing series. I'm going to ask you $1 billion questions as a quick one. Favourite moment from the series? If you had to pick one that stands out. $1 billion.
Yeah.
For me, it's got to be when James said he wanted a hug.
Oh, yes.
Because it just shows you like the pressure the race does, and then obviously the viewers don't know there's a person behind the camera recording, and it was great to see the cameraman just put his camera down and actually walk into the shot himself, because it just shows, you know, we're all human at the end of the day, including the cameraman, and obviously he was recording him there and then, and obviously he felt you know, the need to hug him on camera, and for me that was the best moment.
Very touching, guys.
How about for you?
I think when Alfie was painting the wall and Isabella Nugini came past, I just cracked up. I thought that was hilarious because I do like a laugh every day, and that really made me laugh. His expression was priceless.
It wasn't very welcoming.
Very honest.
Yes.
Very honest.
What are you
Absolutely.
doing here?
How about Jazz? What's your favourite?
Well, there's so many in there, but I think I'm just, for ease, going to go for the James Bond moment at the last time with the speedboats going across the...
Yeah, really amazing scene. Wendy, do you have a favourite?
I actually like the whole show.
Yeah.
I just think it's just so much highlights.
Yes.
And when that Steve and his wife were talking about, am I kind of then she said, you are good enough for me. I thought, wow, that's so beautiful. Yeah. But I want to ask you one question. What is your best moment on your actual race?
It's probably the moment in Sao Paulo, because it changed everything for me. It was almost like a life-changing epiphany that happened like in Sao Paulo, because we came across them street children that were sleeping rough, and when you witness that, it's like that phrase, you can't unsee what you see. And I remember like we were going through a quite affluent area in Sao Paulo, and we came across these these kids just sleeping rough, and I just thought to myself, you know, it shouldn't be like this. And these kind of countries, you know, you're always going to see homeless people, you're always going to see children on the streets, and then when you realise, you know, I'm carrying like a bag full of so much stuff, so that's why I got my stuff out, and then, you know, I just gave them what I could. And for me and my nephew, that was the changing point for our race, because up until then we weren't really racing, we were just enjoying it as a holiday almost. And then I spoke to my nephew and said, listen, you know, we need to do something, let's win this show and let's go all out. And then, you know, we can give something back to them kids that we came across. And unfortunately, we won the race, and we were fortunate enough to go back to Sao Paulo to help them kids. and to
wow.
get involved in a charity that helps children off the streets of South Park, which is a charity that I'm still in touch with now, that I'm still doing a lot of work with. But you know, it's changed everything about travel for me, and you know, since that time, I've given myself to a lot of charities and helping charities. You know, being the best they can do to help each other. Because at the end of the day, for me, the key part of the whole race across the world was the people. The people made the race.
Yeah.
It's like you can go to, you guys probably agree with me, so you can go to any place in the world and it'd be magical, but it's the people that you go with, it's the companion that you meet,
agree.
and that is the memories that you make with them people, and that will live inside of you. It's the memories, because like I said, you can go to the different places, but you know,
People make all the difference.
Yes.
people make all the difference, and
Yes,
that's for me
totally.
what it was. The whole race across the world was the people. I'll always remember the kindness that people showed me, and how great humanity is. Because there's people there that didn't need to help us, because we were complete strangers, and those people that went out of the way, they didn't have anything to give, to offer, but they still would offer and give and help us. Do you know what I mean? And it makes you think. You take everything for granted. You know, food, water, everything that we have in the UK. Sorry to go on a down.
No,
We can see you're passionate about that.
Yeah,
which is great.
that's what's changed me as a person about race across the world and travel in general.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I think,
feel
yeah.
exactly the same.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
said even when you are on tours with winking tours, you said the guide were so good
Yeah.
to you, and all the local people are so warm and welcoming.
Absolutely.
And that is exactly what
Especially in
matters.
Asia, I find they're so warm and welcoming. They don't know me, they've never met me before, but they will give you every help they can. Wonderful people.
Beautiful.
Love it.
Yes. Oh, so that's your very highlight.
Yeah,
how
it's
you
a
saw the poor
Can
children,
appreciate
and
it,
then
yeah.
so much so afterwards you actually were
Yeah.
able to go back to do something. Good on you. Good on you.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, give applause for that charity work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, guys, I think we can safely say that travel is life-changing. I think that's what we've all found from this, from our experiences on tour, doing Race Across the World, even just watching the series on TV as well. It just changes you.
It does.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Thank you for this. It's been brilliant meeting you today. Thank you. And thanks for watching the show. Yes, that's it. The final of Race Across the World and the final Take Woo. But we have not quite finished yet. Join us next week on Wednesday. Yes, on Wednesday we are doing a very special online travel show where we'll be showing you all the destinations featured in the show and how to do them Wendy Wu tour style, slow, relaxed, and seeing absolutely everything. So do make sure that you join us for that show on Wednesday at 3 p.m. It's been fantastic, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.